Good evening and welcome to our daily devotional reading. I hope you are well. A special welcome to the members of our make-believe monastery. For those who do not know, this is a make-believe monastery, and what we are currently doing is reading through the collective works of Plato in 1 year. It's quite a bit of reading every day. It's about 4 pages. We are in the year of the truth, and that is why my eyes are blue. This will probably change next year, I'm not sure. Feel free to stay for only the reading of Plato. Feel free to stay a bit longer. There will be some contemplation afterwards. Feel free to fall asleep while I'm reading and or speaking. That is actually the intention of this. As someone mentioned in the beginning, a bedtime story. So let's close our eyes and prepare for rest. Let the sorrows and the stresses of the day fall off of you. Shake your shoulders if you have to. And just come into the present moment, into the here and now. Slow down. It can all wait. It can all wait. No use rushing through life. The end comes sooner than you think, anyways. And no amount of rushing is going to keep you from it. So slow down. Make the most of this moment. Learn to make the most of as many moments as possible, so that life, even though it might not be extended in years, be extended in quality, in depth, in experience. Place your hand on your tummy. And have some what they call baby breathing. Feeling your tummy move as you breathe in and out. And return to that innocence, that pure enjoyment of the moment that you once had long, long time ago, now completely forgotten, when you were that strange creature which is not really you, a baby. Hush. Hush, my child. All is well in the world. All is well. What is not well can wait until tomorrow. But first, let's read Plato. Why, see, said Dionysiodorus, do you mean to say that anyone speaks of things as they are? Yes, he said, all gentlemen and truth-speaking persons. And are not good things good and evil things evil? He assented. We should have a drinking game every time he says good and evil or good or evil. We should take a shot. And you say that gentlemen speak of things as they are? Yes. Then the good speaks of evil. The good speaks evil of evil things if they speak of them as they are. Yes, indeed, he said, and they speak evil of evil men. I'm going to stop now. It's too much. And if I may give you a piece of advice, you had better take care that they do not speak evil of you, since I can tell you that the good speak evil of the evil. And do they speak great things of great, rejoined Euthydemus, and warm things of the warm? The other translation is, speak hotly of the hot. It's of course two very different things, being a warm person and being a hot person. To be sure they do, said C. And they speak coldly of the insipid and cold dialecticians. Oh, he calls them a dialectician as well. You are abusive, C, said Dionysiodorus. You are abusive. Indeed, I am not, Dionysiodorus, he replied, for I love you and am giving you friendly advice. And if I could, would persuade you not like a boor to say in my presence that I desire my beloved, whom I value above all men, to perish. I saw that they were getting exasperated with one another, so I made a joke with him and said, Oh, see, I think that we must allow the strangers to use language in their own way, and not quarrel with them about words, but be thankful for what they give us. If they know how to destroy men in such a way as to make good and sensible men out of bad and foolish ones, whether this is a discovery of their own or whether they have learned it from someone else, this new sort of death and destruction which enables them to get rid of a bad man and turn him into a good one. If they know this, and they do know this, at any rate they said just now that this was the secret of their newly discovered art. Let them, in their phraseology, destroy the youth and make him wise, and all of us with him. But if you young men do not like to trust yourselves with them, then let the experiment be made on the body of an old man. I will be the carrion on whom they shall operate. And here I offer my old person to Dionysiodorus. He may put me into the pot, like Medea to Colchian. Kill me, boil me, if he will only make me good. C said, And I, Socrates, am ready to commit myself to the strangers. They may skin me alive if they please. Don't skin me alive. I don't like pain. Where am I? I got so distracted. I really don't like pain. If they please, and I'm pretty well skinned by them already. If only my skin is made at last not like that of Messias into a leather bottle, but into a piece of virtue. And here is this Dionysiodorus fancying that I am angry with him, when really I am not angry at all. I do but contradict him when I think that he is speaking improperly to me. And you must not confound abuse and contradiction, O illustrious Dionysodorus, for they are quite different things. Contradiction, said Dionysodorus. Why, there never was such a thing. Certainly there is, he replied. There can be no question of that. Do you, Dionysodorus, maintain that there is not? You will never prove to me, he said, that you have heard anyone contradicting anyone else. I know Alex will disagree with that. Just thinking of the Gospels, for one thing. And I know I contradict myself time and time again. But I'm still learning. Indeed, said C, then now you may hear me contradicting Dionysodorus. Are you prepared to make that good? Certainly, he said. Well, have not all things words expressive of them? Yes. Of their existence or of their non-existence? Of their existence. Yes, see, and we just now proved, as you may remember, that no man could affirm a negative, for no one could affirm that which is not. And what does that signify? Said C. You and I may contradict all the same for that. But can we contradict one another? Said Dionysodorus, when both of us are describing the same thing. Then we must surely be speaking the same thing. He assented. Or when neither of us is speaking of the same thing, for then neither of us says a word about the thing at all. He granted that proposition also. But when I describe something and you describe another thing, or I say something and you say nothing, is there any contradiction? How can he who speaks contradict him who speaks not? Here C was silent, and I in my astonishment said, What do you mean, Dionysodorus? I have often heard and have been amazed to hear this thesis of yours, which is maintained and employed by the disciples of Protagoras, and others before him, and which to me appear to be quite wonderful, and suicidal as well as destructive, and I think that I am most likely to hear the truth about it from you. The dictum is that there is no such thing as a falsehood. A man must either say what is true or say nothing. Is not that your position? He assented. But if he cannot speak falsely, may he not think falsely? No, he cannot, he said. Then there is no such thing as false opinion. No, he said. Then there is no such thing as ignorance, or men who are ignorant, for is not ignorance, if there be such a thing, a mistake of fact? Certainly, he said. Ignorance a mistake, I'm wondering. And that is impossible. Impossible, he replied. Are you saying this as a paradox, Dionysiodorus, or do you seriously maintain no man to be ignorant? Refute me, he said. But how can I refute you if, as you say, to tell a falsehood is impossible? Very true, said Euthydemus. Neither did I tell you just now to refute me, said Dionysiodorus, for how can I tell you to do that which is not? O Euthydemus, I said, I have but a dull conception of these subtleties and excellent devices of wisdom. I am afraid that I hardly understand them, and you must forgive me, therefore, if I ask a very stupid question. If there be no falsehood or false opinion or ignorance, there can be no such thing as erroneous action, wrong action. For a man cannot fail of acting as he is acting. That is what you mean. Yes, he replied. And now, I said, I will ask my stupid question. Oh, I thought that was it. If there is no such thing as error in deed, word, or thought, then what, in the name of goodness, do you come hither to teach? Bazinga. The other one doesn't have it this. Oh, I missed it. If there is no such thing as error in deed, word, or thought, then what, in the name of goodness, do you come hither to teach? And were you not just now saying that you could teach virtue best of all men, to anyone who was willing to learn? And are you such an old fool, Socrates, replied Dionysiodorus, that you bring up now what I said at first? And if I had said anything last year, I suppose that you would bring that up too. But are nonplussed at, or still helpless in dealing with, the words which I have just uttered. Why, I said, they are not easy to answer, for they are the words of wise men, and indeed I know not what to make of this word nonplussed, which you used last. What do you mean by it, Dionysiodorus? You must mean that I cannot refute your argument. Tell me if the words have any other sense. So I looked up the meaning because I didn't know it either. But I don't think that's what Socrates meant. But anyways. Nonplussed usually means being so surprised or confused that you are entirely at a loss for what to say or do. However, because of the common linguistic misunderstanding where people assume the non means not, it is frequently used to mean the exact opposite: unfazed, unbothered, or completely calm. That's interesting. Where am I? No, he replied, they mean what you say, and now answer. What, before you, Dionysiodorus? I said. Answer, said he. And is that fair? Yes, quite fair, he said. Upon what principle? I said. I can only suppose that you are a very wise man who comes to us in the character of a great logician, and who knows when to answer and when not to answer. And now you will not open your mouth at all, because you know that you ought not. You prate, you are babbling, he said. instead of answering. But if, my good sir, you admit that I am wise, answer as I tell you. I suppose that I must obey, for you are master in command, the other translation says. Put the question. Thus far our scripture of the evening. What are you willing to do and to suffer for being good? For becoming good? Be careful what you answer. And above and beyond that, may that which you suffer indeed make you good. Because that is not a given. Kill me, boil me, if you will only make me good. Only in a metaphorical sense can you do these things to me. Okay. Boil my blood, in the sense of make me really angry. Or kill me in the sense of destroy my false perceptions and enlighten me with new and truer ways of seeing the world. I don't know how to metaphorically interpret skin me alive. Abuse and contradiction. Yes, one often see people mistaking the two in ordinary language. If someone, we do tend, if someone disagrees with us, to take it quite personally as a form of abuse. Well, quite a long time ago, I spoke with the other friend that was part of our group of three. The one that, not the one that I made plans with recently, but I just remembered I need to call someone. Never mind. But the other one, the one that was with whom I had all the disagreements and with whom I sang, amongst others, Annie's song. And she said that there's quite a difference in how I'm currently expressing my opinions than when I did it back then. And I think my way is telling of all people's ways. She said I had a hardness about me then when I was expressing my views, and how did she say it? She said it so well. A rigidness and unbendingness. And I almost became, well, aggressive, I suppose. Well, now when I'm expressing my ideas, she said it's much more flowing, much more as if I'm discovering it as I speak, even if I speak of things that I've given a lot of thought to. And I seem to be much more open to being disagreed with on these opinions. And I think there might be two reasons why. Why? Because I do not experience contradiction as personal abuse, because I'm not married to any of my opinions currently. And I'm not afraid of contradiction, as I was back when I felt that my entire life, my stability, my security, my safety, my sense of safety dependent on that which I believed, that which I was taught to be true. And in a way it was. That was my livelihood. It was who I was and what I was known for and esteemed for. My knowledge in the faith. But that's not a place to... That's a horrible place to be, where you cling desperately to your opinions, because if they're contradicted and proven wrong, you are in fact killed, boiled, skinned alive. And now it's like, oh, take it. Take another little piece of my heart now, baby. Skin it. Skin another little piece of my soul. Abuse and contradiction. Is there such a thing as false opinion? If there is no wrong opinion, no false opinion, then there's no wrong action. And how can anyone be teaching? There is, of course, a case to be made for the opposite. Bear with me. I'm going to speak as a fool and as one who does not believe a word she says, but hopes to be able to entertain many contradicting views, so that at last she might find the truth. Maybe no one can teach anyone anything. Maybe we all... Life is so vast and so weird and so plastic, reality. And as I've said many times, what I've learned through all my experimenting with different worldviews, everything works. And then I'm also speaking of pretty weird worldviews. Everything works. And maybe we are something like souls on a mission to learn from ourselves. And then there are no such things as mistakes or wrong opinions. It's just stepping stones. I still have a very strong resistance to that. But I do think it's my addiction to knowing and being sure to certainty that make me resist that. And maybe I can solve it through perspective perspectivism, I'm not sure how to say it anymore. That we all get to see a different perspective. You know, the age-old blind man and the elephant. And as long as we are all honest and sincere in our attempts to form opinions and to learn from ourselves and from our own experience, then there is no such thing as a wrong opinion or a wrong action. It's only when we ourselves are wrong that opinion and action becomes wrong. It's only when we want to deceive ourselves and others, though I always think others are like a side deception. It's mostly about deceiving ourselves. If we're not willing to face the truth and really see what is in front of us, and to describe it as to the best of our ability, as true as possible, then maybe both of us can be describing the same thing, but in very different ways. Who am I to say that my limited perspective, the limited perspective even of the cleverest people on earth, can hold all of truth? I have now a very strong sense of holding truth, but not being able to express it, that ineffable, I imagine. And that's why I understand that people think that mystical experiences reveals the real, the really real, because it feels so very real. Maybe this is a good time to mention that I do sometimes find myself feeling guilty about things I've said, thinking like, oh, that could have been interpreted in such and such a way. And maybe I meant it in such and such a way. But I don't approve of myself meaning it in such and such a way. For instance, once I said, it's cute that people think that they've discovered the really real during mystical experiences. And I was in particular because I just watched, I think, Folly with Philip Goff. And he's such an enthusiastic man, such a preacher quality, that it was cute to see that. But I also think of myself as extremely cute. But I can see that that could be perceived as derogative. And if I meant it as such, then I am bad and I need to change. And I was also thinking, another thing that I was thinking like, oh, but what if My heart beats faster just thinking of saying it. But suppose Alex should encounter either Jesus or the Christ or both in a personal experience. Then who am I to hold that against him? I just pray that he has the balls to get to know whoever he experiences for himself as well. I can't imagine he would not. That he would just fall into doctrine. I can't imagine that. So those are things I've been thinking about. May the spirit of Sophia be with you.